Prepare for dive!
What's going on, YTPC? Salty Smoker here, and tonight I'm coming out with you with another review. So tonight I am smoking a Burley and Cavendish blend, and it's classified as an aromatic. And this is by Ken Byron Ventures, and it is the Burley Morning Pipe. Hopefully you guys can see that. Let's fire this up. All right, now that we got this thing rolling, the 10 note is very much nutty. Subtle hints of chocolate. Like you kind of get a whiff of it, but it's more like you get some creaminess. You get some nuttiness, and you get a little bit of chocolate, a little bit, or cocoa. It's a pretty cool burning smoke. Now, I definitely suggest letting this one sit for a few minutes, out on your tray or, wherever you're prepping your tobacco at, because it does need a little bit of time to dry. In my experience, I do like to smoke them a little bit on the drier side. I didn't do that tonight. I honestly pulled it out of the jar, threw it on the tray, packed the bowl, called it a day. But it's a very cool smoke. And they got a way that they want you to prepare your coffee. I'm drinking some decaf tonight. Got a little chilly here. Not to offend anybody, but we did get down to 75, so it was a little chilly. As you can see, I'm wearing long sleeve today. But my blood's thin since I came down here. And just so you know, I am smoking this out of my Viking 505, right? I think that's what it says. 503 Viking 503, the little bulldog. Honestly, out of all my Viking pipes that I have up here on the wall, I really only smoke probably 2 of them. And that's this one and that egg, the one that I smoked the Bayou Morning Flake out of. This is a very good blend. It is, I don't know why, but throughout the occasional puffs, and it hasn't hit me yet, but it has before. I get like a twinge of cigarettiness. But that's probably just the Burley. I get that with a lot of Burleys. But this, I'm having the coffee black, and this is just kind of lending lending a hand to that. So fall has finally come to Florida, and I felt it this weekend, but I felt it a lot today. And while I enjoy my falls down here, I do miss the falls that we had back in Indiana, and the falls in Maine when we lived there was they were phenomenal. Winters were atrocious, but the falls were beautiful. And we talked about moving back there someday, but those winters kicked our butt. You know, we had a nice little place back there. And this is up in Maine. We were about 30, 45 minutes north of Bangor. And in a little town called Edinburgh. And we had 20 acres inside of a 300-acre forest. And we were a mile back in the woods in our cabin. And it was what we wanted. We paid off the house in Indiana, sold that, and just went off grid up in Maine and hooked up my own solar panels. We had a dug well, septic, only heat was wood heat. We had a wood stove inside. Ran the gas oven and range off of propane. And we had a tankless water heater. That was nice. But, oh, that those winters. Yeah. This Burley Morning Pipe by KBV or Ken Byron Ventures is, I mean, it's a codger blend. It really is. It's a codger blend. I'm not afraid to say it, but it's good. Little cigarette-y. The aromatic, smooth and sweet. Burns pretty cool, but downsides are is it's a little cigarette-y. There's not a whole lot to it. But that also may be a positive for you. Maybe you're not wanting something that's super complex that has, every tobacco known to man. Cased and laced with the finest fragrances and things they could find. So for a simple blend, it it hits on all accounts. Um, I probably won't repurchase this. He's got some other ones on his site that I want to try. Um, I might try the Burley Morning Pipe, see how that goes. I've got another blend of his down here that I don't even see on the website anymore. So I haven't even opened that bag yet. And these do come in 2 ounces and Mylar bags, and he does feels like periodic runs of each. Yeah, it's simple, but it's nice, and the wife doesn't complain about the room notes, so that's always a plus. There are certain tobaccos that I know my wife is going to complain about. This is not one of them. I can usually get away with some of the heavier aromatics as long as they're a pleasing to her scent. Like I don't mind the smell, the smokiness that you get from like Latakia and English blends. They aren't my favorite, but I don't mind them. She does not like them. I smoked nightcap around her one time and she was like, "Oh, never again." And I was like, "Okay." And I don't think she's a fan of the Bayou Morning Flake either. But she's never really awake when I'm smoking that anyways. That's my like 4 a.m. pipe. I'm getting my first cup of coffee in. And I can see the appeal for this one being your morning pipe. But for me, I mean, it's a good blend. But for me, it's not my cup of tea. Um, I will smoke through it because I like to give things, I'll watch an entire series of a or a season of a show just because I'm like, okay, it'll get better. It'll get better. It'll get better. If I had more of it, I would give it away. But I don't want to give it away to somebody and it's only, just I don't like I said, I don't have much left, a few maybe 10 bowls. Because I don't always smoke it out of this one. I have smoked it out of the Briarworks. But I wouldn't want to give somebody this just so they get a tease and they wouldn't be able to buy it again. That would just be terrible. So with this kind, yeah, if you're a fan of over the counter codger type blends, Burley blends, lightly aromatic. Well, not even. I mean, this is it's like a medium aromatic, really. It's not like super super heavy where all you taste is the topping, but it is aromatic enough that you can definitely be like, yeah, that's aromatic. It's not just what the the scents and things that it's giving off, the naturalness of the tobacco. You can go, yeah, there's a little bit of extra oomph behind it. And I think it was going for like 15 for 2 ounces last time I checked. I could be way off. But you can go to the website and he has some on his website. And that's Ken Byron Ventures. He's got a lot of other ones on there, and a lot of people rave about his stuff. And I mean, I can see why. Doctor up something simple like this, and it becomes very good. A lot of people rave about this one too. And again, I can see why. Honestly, what I end up doing with this a lot of the times is I end up throwing some dark fired Kentucky into it. Um, I do that quite frequently with this blend, and I just buy the blending tobacco from Cornell and Deal, and I just throw some of that in there, and it kind of helps give it a little bit more oomph to me. But tonight I'm smoking it naked. Nothing in it, nothing else in it rather. Now the Mylar bags that it comes in, you can sell those for a really long time because they're sealed. Just as long as you know, same old thing with everything else, whether it's jars or tins. Don't have it in an area where the temperature fluctuates too much. Don't have it in a super humid type of area. You know, cool, dry, dark, no sunlight. The other one though, when I review it, it'll be a little bit different because again, that one it's not even on the site anymore, and I'm not even sure why. So, I am starting to delve more into aromatics here lately as the seasons change. I do like more of an aromatic smoke. During the summertime, I just want to smoke a Virginia vapor, you know. As it starts to cool down, I like to smoke some more aromatics. As well as some English blends. Again, I'm not huge on the English blends, but they're not bad. I do like a Virginia Burley blend. So, well, I think that's all we have for tonight. That was my review of the Ken Byron Ventures Burley Morning Pipe. And it's, again, run it down. Burley and Cavendish blend, topped. Gives you notes of nuttiness and creaminess and a little bit of cocoa. Very light on the cocoa, but it is there. Smoke's relatively cool, no tongue bite. But yeah. All in all, it's a good blend. It is a codger blend with a little bit more oomph. Yeah. So if that's the kind of thing that's in your wheelhouse, if you love those older blends, those Burley blends, this is right in your wheelhouse. But for me, it's not going to be a repeat. But I enjoyed it anyways. Just not enough to buy another couple of ounces. So, well, that's all I have for tonight, folks. This is Salty Smoker, reminding you to keep on smoking and stay super salty. Peace.
So light it slow.